Stop everything you're doing right now. A woman you know is bent on destroying you. This isn't paranoia or overreaction, this is documented truth with evidence you can verify. Her smile hides calculated intentions that work against you daily. Through careful observation, her true motives become clear. This isn't just another random suspicion, this is a pattern of behavior specifically targeted at undermining your life, relationships, and success. Your instincts have been trying to warn you. Those uneasy feelings when she's around. The strange coincidences after sharing your plans with her. The subtle changes in how others treat you after she's spoken with them. The universe has protected this revelation until exactly this moment, when you're finally ready to see the truth. Everything in your recent experiences has prepared you to recognize these patterns and protect yourself from what's been happening behind your back. This revelation explains those unsettling feelings you've experienced lately. The strange sense that someone is working against you. The growing distance between you and certain friends. The unexpected obstacles appearing right when you were about to succeed. These weren't random occurrences, they were carefully orchestrated events designed to destabilize your life. Her campaign began the moment she recognized qualities in you that threatened her. Perhaps your confidence, your relationships, or your success triggered her insecurity. Now her subconscious or conscious mission is to systematically dismantle what you've built. This pattern will continue escalating if left unchecked. The subtle undermining becomes bold sabotage. The quiet rumors grow into deliberate reputation damage. The minor interferences develop into major life disruptions. The time to recognize this dynamic is now. Each day you remain unaware extends her influence and deepens her tactics. Earlier recognition might have been dismissed as paranoia. Later awareness may come after irreparable damage to your relationships, reputation, or opportunities. Those who sense these warning signs must trust their instincts, a protective mechanism alerting you to genuine danger. Quick, press the like button right now to activate your protection shield. This simple action creates an energetic barrier against manipulation and alerts your subconscious to remain vigilant against subtle attacks. Your spiritual guardians gather around you now, waiting for this moment of recognition. They've watched these harmful patterns develop, knowing this day would come when you'd be ready to see the truth and reclaim your personal power. Type "I see the truth" now if you're ready to learn exactly how she's been undermining you, perhaps in ways so clever even you haven't connected all the dots. The moment you type these words, your awareness expands to recognize patterns previously hidden from your conscious mind. This is the most critical revelation for your immediate well-being. Your future stability depends on this awareness. But you must act now. Manipulation tactics work best against those who remain in denial. Pattern recognition begins now. The signs have always been there, subtle behaviors revealing her true intentions toward you. Think about those moments when your accomplishments were met with her tight smile and quick subject change. The times your good news received minimal acknowledgement before she shared her bigger news. The way your struggles received excessive attention and were later shared with others. These weren't random reactions, they were calculated responses designed to minimize your successes and magnify your challenges. Type I recognize the patterns as your awareness expands. Her behavior carries specific markers that appear consistently. Each coincidence or strange interaction connects to her larger undermining strategy. Through careful analysis, patterns emerge clearly. Perhaps you've noticed how information shared privately with her somehow reaches others. Maybe certain opportunities disappear after mentioning them to her. Possibly mutual friends become subtly distant after spending time with her. Her actions contain more than casual negativity. They reveal systematic efforts to position herself favorably at your expense. Every backhanded compliment, subtle criticism, and helpful warning about others serves her campaign to isolate and destabilize you. Cosmic understanding reveals deeper connections. Those times when you felt suddenly insecure after interactions with her. When your confidence mysteriously disappeared. When your trust in others became unexpectedly shaken. These weren't your imagination, they were the direct results of her deliberate tactics working as designed. Pattern wisdom flows through careful observation. Your recognition of these behaviors transcends paranoia, carrying the weight of consistent evidence that cannot be dismissed as coincidence once properly documented. The universe reveals her manipulation methods now. These techniques weren't randomly selected but carefully chosen to work specifically against your psychological vulnerabilities. Her tactical approach carries sophisticated patterns. Certain conversations leave you doubting your perceptions. Comments delivered with concern mask subtle criticism of your choices. Friendly warnings about others' intentions slowly isolate you from support networks. Pay attention to these recurring methods in your interactions. Type I understand her tactics as divine wisdom illuminates her behavioral strategy. Each interaction contains hidden psychological manipulations designed to keep you off balance and seeking her approval. Through clear perception, important tactics emerge. Gaslighting makes you question your reality. Triangulation turns friends against each other. Projecting her own negative intentions onto you confuses others about who's really causing problems. Divine insight reveals which methods she employs most frequently against you. Living wisdom shows tactical progression. Initial approaches tested your boundaries. Current methods exploit identified weaknesses. Future tactics will escalate without your awareness and countermeasures. These aren't random, they follow calculated psychological warfare principles. Perfect understanding requires examining interaction patterns. The moments when reality seems suddenly confusing. When your words are twisted beyond recognition. When your emotions feel hijacked. These aren't your failure, they are successful tactical strikes against your perception. Beyond casual negativity, strategic manipulation operates continuously. Her carefully timed interventions occur precisely when they'll cause maximum doubt, confusion, and insecurity in your experience. Sacred insight reveals which defenses work best against her specific psychological methods. Knowledge disarms her most effective weapons. Sacred truth emerges with crystal clarity. Her actions left evidence, some obvious, others requiring careful documentation to reveal the undeniable pattern of harmful intent. Divine understanding reveals where to look for proof. Perhaps messages containing subtle put-downs disguised as jokes. Maybe conversations where your words were misrepresented to others. Possibly social media interactions showing a pattern of undermining comments or conspicuous absence of support for your achievements. Type I collect the evidence as cosmic wisdom shows how to document this pattern. Screenshots, dated journal entries, and witness accounts create an undeniable record that breaks through denial and validates your perception. Through spiritual sight, your evidence collection becomes clear. You didn't imagine these interactions. Your soul recognized truth even when your conscious mind sought more charitable explanations for her behavior. Living wisdom flows through documented patterns. As you gather evidence, connections between seemingly isolated incidents emerge. Divine understanding helps you distinguish genuine harmful patterns from simple misunderstandings or occasional rudeness. Perfect understanding illuminates meaningful evidence. Small comments that subtly diminish you. Accidental exclusions that happen repeatedly. Problems that mysteriously arise after sharing plans with her. Your documentation creates validation that combats self-doubt. Beyond individual incidents, pattern evidence activates now. Timeline documentation reveals striking correlations between her actions and subsequent problems in your life. Divine timing ensures these patterns become undeniable once properly recorded. Each documented incident strengthens your clarity while weakening her ability to manipulate through denial or minimization. Evidence creates the foundation for effective protection strategies. Cosmic vision penetrates superficial explanations now, revealing truths about her motivations that transcend ordinary understanding. What emerges is a tapestry of psychological drivers far more complex than simple dislike or random negativity. Sacred understanding illuminates her core motivations. Those inexplicable attacks weren't random cruelty. That undermining behavior wasn't just bad social skills. The consistent sabotage wasn't coincidence. All these actions reflect deep psychological needs operating beyond her conscious awareness. Type I see her motives as divine wisdom reveals the full scope of what drives her behavior. Beyond surface jealousy, her actions stem from profound insecurity, excessive need for validation, distorted perception of relationships as zero-sum competitions, and unconscious reenactment of early relationship dynamics. Through mystical sight, her motivation patterns become clear. Perhaps early abandonment created desperate attachment strategies. Maybe childhood comparison fostered unhealthy competitive patterns. Possibly unresolved trauma manifests as controlling behaviors toward others. These psychological drivers explain why certain accomplishments or qualities of yours became threatening triggers. Living truth explains her systematic undermining. Some individuals develop identity structures dependent on feeling superior to others. Your success, happiness, or positive qualities create psychological distress that feels existentially threatening to her self-concept. Perfect knowledge reveals why specific aspects of your life receive most sabotage. Those areas where you shine brightest activate her deepest insecurities. The qualities others admire in you highlight what she fears lacking herself. Your healthy relationships emphasize her connection difficulties. Beyond simple explanations, Complex psychological mechanisms drive her behavior. Understanding these motives provides critical insights for effective protection strategies. Divine wisdom reveals you face more than a single adversary. Her influence has created a network, some active participants, others unwitting enablers in her campaign against you. Sacred insight shows how social dynamics are weaponized. Perhaps through selective information sharing that shapes others' perceptions. Maybe through positioning herself as the victim of your imagined offenses. Possibly through gradual relationship triangulation that turns neutral parties into her defenders. Type I. Identify the network as cosmic understanding reveals which people have been influenced. Some companions provide information she uses against you. Others repeat her narratives without verification. Many serve as unwitting amplifiers of her distortions. Through spiritual perception, network classifications emerge. True allies maintain consistent support regardless of her influence. Compromised connections show fluctuating loyalty depending on recent contact with her. Recruited adversaries actively participate in undermining campaigns without questioning her narratives. Living wisdom explains network development strategies. Trust bonds formed through artificial intimacy. Loyalty tests requiring choosing sides. Information manipulation creating false consensus. Your awareness disables these methods' effectiveness. Perfect understanding illuminates relationship patterns. The friends who suddenly become distant. The acquaintances who seem oddly informed about private matters. The colleagues whose behavior toward you changes after her interactions. These aren't random social fluctuations, they reflect her active network influence. Beyond individual manipulations, social system dynamics reveal themselves. Her position within various groups, communication channels she controls, and alliances she's cultivated specifically to maintain leverage against perceived threats like you. Divine insight reveals which relationships remain trustworthy despite her influence attempts. Discernment becomes your critical tool for navigating this complex social landscape. Divine wisdom reveals effective protection methods against her specific tactics. These strategies weren't randomly selected but carefully matched to counteract her most common approaches. Sacred insight shows boundary reinforcement techniques. Perhaps limiting information shared with her or her network. Maybe documenting interactions to prevent gaslighting effectiveness. Possibly creating communications in writing to maintain clear evidence of what was actually said. Type I. Activate protection as cosmic understanding reveals energy management strategies. Visualization techniques create psychological barriers against manipulation. Emotional detachment methods prevent her from leveraging your reactions. Energy cleansing practices remove lingering effects after unavoidable interactions. Through spiritual perception, communication strategies emerge clearly. The Grey Rock method minimizes emotional reactions she feeds upon. Strategic disengagement reduces opportunities for manipulation. Circular conversations get redirected through prepared responses. These communication tools disable her most effective tactics. Living wisdom explains reputation protection approaches. Preemptive transparency with key individuals prevents misinformation effectiveness. Consistent behavior demonstrates the falsehood of her narratives. Strategic relationship maintenance ensures support systems remain intact despite her efforts. Perfect understanding illuminates psychological protection techniques. Validation partnerships provide reality checks after gaslighting attempts. Self-trust reinforcement counters doubt creation tactics. Value alignment practices prevent her from activating insecurities. Beyond defensive measures, strategic positioning creates advantage. Maintaining ethical standards despite provocations demonstrates character. Focusing on personal growth rather than conflict reduces her influence. Building meaningful connections outside her network develops sustainable support systems. Cosmic revelation unlocks personalized protection strategies aligned with your specific situation. These methods create immediate security while developing long-term resilience against manipulation tactics. Sacred Insight reveals precise documentation approaches. This evidence collection isn't just for validation but creates powerful protection through undeniable pattern recognition. Divine Understanding shows effective recording methods. Perhaps journaling interactions with exact quotes and dates. Maybe saving communications through screenshots or forwarded messages. Possibly creating voice memos immediately after verbal exchanges to capture details while fresh. Type I document the pattern as cosmic wisdom reveals organization systems. Chronological records reveal escalation patterns. Categorical sorting identifies favorite tactics. Interaction tracking shows correlation with specific triggers. These organization methods transform isolated incidents into compelling evidence. Through mystical perception, documentation best practices emerge. Recording objective behaviors rather than assumed intentions increases credibility. Including contextual details strengthens pattern recognition. Noting your emotional responses helps identify manipulation effectiveness. These documentation standards create unassailable records. Living knowledge explains storage security. Keeping records where she cannot access them prevents evidence tampering. Creating backups ensures documentation survival. Selective sharing protects your collection strategy. These security practices maintain evidence integrity. Perfect understanding illuminates legal considerations. Documenting only factual observations avoids defamation concerns. Focusing on pattern recognition rather than individual incidents strengthens your position. Maintaining privacy during collection prevents escalation. Beyond personal validation, strategic documentation serves multiple purposes. Evidence convinces doubtful supporters. Pattern recognition helps others identify similar experiences. Complete records support necessary interventions if escalation occurs. Divine Insight reveals which documentation aspects matter most for your specific situation. Different manipulation types require customized evidence collection approaches that capture their unique patterns effectively. Cosmic Vision reveals transformative self-reclamation practices. These approaches help you rebuild any confidence, clarity, and connection damaged through her systematic undermining. Sacred Insight shows identity reinforcement techniques. Perhaps reconnecting with core values and strengths. maybe engaging activities that build genuine confidence. Possibly surrounding yourself with those who know and affirm your authentic self. Type I reclaim my power as divine wisdom reveals reality anchoring practices. Journaling builds consistent self-narrative despite gaslighting attempts. Truth circles with trusted others validate accurate perceptions. Mindfulness practices strengthen present moment clarity against historical distortions. Through spiritual sight, energy reclamation methods emerge. Cutting energetic cords releases unhealthy attachments. Boundary visualization creates psychic protection. Affirmation practices rebuild internal strength. These energy techniques restore resources drained through toxic interactions. Living Wisdom explains relationship healing approaches. Rebuilding trust capacity after betrayal. Developing discernment without suspicion. Creating authentic connections beyond superficial networking. Your relationship healing restores essential support systems. Perfect understanding illuminates success reclamation. Pursuing goals despite sabotage attempts. Celebrating achievements regardless of harm minimization. Finding meaning through authentic purpose rather than external validation. These success practices rebuild momentum despite past interference. Beyond recovery, transformation becomes possible. Her undermining attempts, once recognized, create opportunities for unprecedented growth. Your enhanced awareness develops discernment that serves all relationships. Your boundary-setting skills establish healthier connections throughout your life. Divine revelation shows how this challenging experience, fully processed, transforms into valuable wisdom that serves your highest development. What was intended to diminish you becomes catalyst for expanding your authentic personal power. Divine insight reveals responsible communication approaches about her behavior. These methods protect others without creating unnecessary drama or appearing vindictive. Sacred wisdom shows effective sharing techniques. Perhaps focusing on patterns rather than personality. Maybe emphasizing protection rather than punishment. Possibly using your experience to educate about manipulation tactics generally before addressing specifics. Type I share with wisdom as cosmic understanding reveals selective disclosure principles. Different relationships require customized information sharing. Some need detailed warnings while others benefit from general awareness. Your discernment determines appropriate sharing levels for each relationship. Through spiritual perception, timing considerations emerge. Warning someone already experiencing doubts provides validation. Sharing before manipulation begins offers preemptive protection. Waiting until trust develops ensures receptivity. These timing factors significantly impact warning effectiveness. Living Wisdom explains delivery approaches. Expressing concern rather than accusation maintains credibility. Sharing personal experience rather than making claims about her character respects boundaries. Focusing on observable behaviors rather than assumed intentions preserves integrity. Perfect understanding illuminates response preparation. Others may initially resist warnings based on their different experiences with her. Patience allows space for their own observations to align with your information. Respect for their independent conclusions maintains relationship health. Beyond individual warnings, community protection emerges. Creating general awareness about manipulation tactics helps vulnerable individuals recognize warning signs in multiple relationships. Building cultures of healthy communication standards reduces successful manipulation opportunities broadly. Divine wisdom reveals which warning approaches best serve each specific situation. Tailored communication ensures maximum protection with minimum drama, serving everyone's highest good while maintaining your ethical standards. Cosmic revelation reaches its peak now. The most profound truth about protecting yourself emerges with crystal clarity. Sacred understanding shows complete protection requires integrated approaches. Physical separation when possible. Psychological boundaries when interaction is necessary. Energetic shielding for lingering influences. Social support reinforcement against isolation tactics. Type I am protected now as divine wisdom reveals your personalized safety protocol. Your unique circumstances require specific protections aligned with her particular methods and your individual vulnerabilities. Through spiritual sight, perfect divine resilience appears. Every manipulation attempt strengthens your discernment. Each undermining effort builds your self-trust. All isolation tactics ultimately reveal who truly belongs in your circle. Living wisdom culminates in profound simplicity. Your greatest protection comes not from complex countermeasures but from unshakable self-connection that no external influence can disrupt. Perfect insight reveals eternal strength. Your connection to truth transcends her manipulations, continuing across all life challenges with growing resilience and wisdom. Ultimate activation occurs now. All revealed knowledge integrates into your being, permanently altering your relationship to manipulation attempts from anyone. Divine power infuses your perception. Every revealed tactic becomes instantly recognizable, neutralizing its effectiveness permanently. Receive the ultimate blessing of complete discernment. Divine wisdom guides your boundaries constantly, perfect understanding illuminates each interaction eternally. Your protection completes in divine perfection as you